Hey guys, what's going on? Tua Cruz here, checking in with... We're here with Tunshan, and today we're going to be doing our first long bike ride test with our new folding bikes. So today we're going to be riding on our new Dahon Boardwalk D7. So this is the bright red one that Tunshan loves. And for me, I'm going to be riding the brand new Dahon HIT. So these are both 20-inch folding bikes, and in the middle of the ride, we're actually going to switch bikes because these bikes are the same size, so they're adjustable. They can fit both of us. My wife is about 5'6", I'm about 6 feet tall. So I'm going to be starting on this bike, she's going to be starting on that bike, and it is a sizzling hot day in Japan today. Today is very, very hot.
Very hot.
Very, very hot.
Yes.
It's about 37, 38 degrees Celsius. Not sure in Fahrenheit, I think that's like over 100. Also with the humidity, but we're here in this beautiful location filming some videos. We just did a full introduction of these new bikes. If you want to check it out, you can go check out that video. I'll link it up right above right here. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with our ride.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so here we go. We're actually starting our ride a little bit here behind the lake. We want to try and show you guys a nice view. This is by Heiwa Park here in eastern Nagoya, Japan. Beautiful little lake here. It's really small actually, it's more like a pond. But this is actually a really popular fishing destination. So we're going to be testing out our folding bikes. I think in total today we're going to be riding about 20 or 30 kilometers. So we came over here into the city today to film some videos. And so this is the second half of our ride. We're riding back home. And we'll be doing a mixed ride. We're here in this beautiful park. We're going to be going along some busy roads as well. And we're also going to be riding in some neighborhoods. So the big advantage of the folding bikes is just it gets really small. You can fold it up into a small space. So if you're in like an apartment with not much space, it'll fit in there really easily. And the other really nice thing with that is it's really good for like bringing it on transportation, like public transportation, like buses, trains, and so on. So that's one of our big goals with using these bikes moving forward, is we want to find the ideal travel bike. My wife and I are planning to leave Japan here in the next few months and travel in some different countries. And we want to figure out what is the most ideal bike for us to do that. We've been testing out some different folding bikes so far. And we've got a 16-inch folding bike. And now this is our first time on 20-inch folding bikes. And already I can tell that the riding quality is just way, 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 way more smooth, way more comfortable. And especially these bikes, because they're made for larger riders. Dahon is an American brand, so they're made to fit giant foreigners like us. So that's the thing I really like about these bikes already, is just straight out of the box, the stock parts, they fit me, they fit my wife. Whereas our other, like Brompton clone folding bike, out of the box, it's a little bit small for me. Like you can order a special extra long seat post, but that's one extra step. Like I'm the kind of guy who likes to just buy a complete bike and I'll upgrade it later on, like maybe a year later when some of the parts start to wear out, but I don't want to have to like upgrade parts right away. So maybe that experience would be a little bit better if I did invest in a longer seat post, but right out of the box, these bikes fit us both and are doing a great job. So the other thing, when you're riding here in Japan, there's lots of bumps here on the sidewalks. When you go from the sidewalk here to the main road, it's really uncomfortable. You really notice it, especially on like smaller tires, on road bike tires. And on the 16-inch tires, it was a bit rough. But on these 20-inch tires, it's a lot smoother. Oh wow, there goes a camping car. You don't see too many of those here in Japan. And in case this is the first time you're seeing our bikes, you'll notice there are a few differences between our bikes. So mine is an aluminum bike, Tuan's is a chrome steel bike, and mine has a nice little basket in the front. So we're going to be switching bikes midway through the ride. But so far, I'm really liking these bikes. Like, even though it's a folding bike, it feels like I'm riding a full-size bike. This handlebar gets nice and high. Actually, I've got it in its lowest setting because I prefer my handlebars nice and low. But this could go higher if you wanted a more upright feeling. So some people prefer that. And yeah, it just feels like a giant full-size, real full-size bike, which I don't get the feeling on the other 16-inch folding bike that I tried. The handling on these also feels pretty nice, pretty stable. We've got nice wide flat bars on here. So generally, I prefer flat bars when riding. And currently the bike I'm using right now, it uses grip shifters, so you gotta twist it. The ones on Tuung's bike is using trigger shifters. Personally, I prefer the trigger shifters. I don't mind grip shifters every once in a while, but if you're doing like a long tour, it tends to wear you out a little bit more. I don't like using them when I'm tired, but in a normal ride, I don't mind either one. So here we go. This is nice. We're loving the shade. We've been riding outside all day today and it has just been insanely hot. So we're getting here in the evening. We've got a nice sunset behind us and we've got some shade for right now at least. So yeah, these bikes are flying on the downhill, and the uphills aren't so bad. The gears, they are a little bit limiting. Mine is a 6-speed, hers is a 7-speed. So actually I haven't had too much difficulty with the climbing. I actually feel the gears are a little bit limiting when going on like flats or when you want to go really fast. So I think we're both a little bit faster than who these bikes are intended for. But the other thing I really like about these bikes is they both seem like really upgradable. But yeah, the frames are solid. The parts are like mediocre. Like for the price range of these bikes, I think these are about like $500, $600 bikes. So you can't expect like the best quality components at that price. Like some single components alone cost that much, but this frame is totally upgradable if you want to get some nicer wheels, if you want to get a nicer crank, if you want to get some carbon parts on here. You can get this thing to be pretty lightweight, pretty fast. I'm sure you could put like a nice 10-speed setup on here and this thing will just be flying. So if we end up sticking with these bikes and we use these as our main travel bikes, we're definitely going to be doing some upgrades. But in the meantime, I don't like doing like premature upgrades. I like using the equipment and getting like the use out of it before we upgrade. Otherwise, I feel like it's a little bit wasteful. Okay, here we are on the main highway here. So this is the main road, or it's not officially a highway, but it's a wider lane road here. We've also got the cycling lane here, which is full of people up ahead. So, oh man, traffic congestion. So we got to be careful here. Must be some sort of sports team or something. This is a gymnasium here, by the way, local community gym. So technically the left side here is the walking pedestrian side. This right side here is the cycling side, but the cycling side is full of obstacles, overgrown bushes and people and garbage. So we kind of weave back and forth between them. But so far on these kinds of roads, like this bike is doing an awesome job. It especially helps being able to ride in like my normal kind of position. I don't feel as tired and I feel like I can get some decent speed on this bike. So we're going slightly uphill right now. I think one of the things that helps with these folding bikes is even though the wheels are smaller than like a normal mountain bike or 26-inch mountain bike even, you can get the wider tires on here. So that helps add some extra cushion. That's probably one of the parts we'll upgrade here. After we get a bit more miles on here, we'll get some nice, solid, like puncture-proof tires. Maybe some Marathons. Those are one of my favorite commuting tires. And I think they're also pretty solid for this size wheel. We're passing by a popular subway station here. This is the Hoshigaoka station. There's lots of like women's universities and like fancy cafes, osharena cafes. And yeah, lots of different restaurants and stuff here. We actually stopped here for lunch. We had lunch here with Victor-san. He's another YouTuber based here in Nagoya. So here's the station. Actually, there's a bus station here and there's a subway station, so we can go behind here. I don't want to wait for that light. So let's go through the neighborhoods for a brief little moment. This is a little shortcut to avoid red lights. Looks like a bunch of cars are trying to use the same shortcut we are. But it's the weekend right now, so pretty busy, lots of people out. We can go down one more block before we get a turn. Here we are, back on the main road, still climbing. But yeah, normally when we cycle with like our mamachari or our heavier bikes like uphill, we really notice it, but personally, I don't really notice any difficulty with this bike going uphill. And Tunshan seems to be flying right over there. So we're definitely going to have to continue testing out these bikes, doing some longer rides. Yep, no problem on these bumps. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break here and switch bikes. So all we gotta do is drop the seat post on my bike, the HIT, and then I'm gonna raise the seat post on the red bike. So Tuang is usually about 10 centimeters lower than me. The nice thing with this bike is it has measurements. We can see exactly where it is on the seat post. So on this one, I'm 2 centimeters, she's 12 centimeters. We can adjust this one easily. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have any markings. We're gonna have to write on it with some like super pen or something. So we can, once we get that dialed exactly. Okay, let's ask Tuan-chan her opinion about the bike so far. What do you think of this bike so far?
10.
10.
Yes.
10 stars,
Yeah.
10 points.
10.
Why?
Kimochi.
Good feeling,
Yeah.
comfortable,
Yeah.
yeah. And
And I like design.
design,
Yeah.
nice design,
I like red color.
red color,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, fast.
First, yeah.
Okay, so she's got a good review of that bike so far. Let's see how she feels about this bike after riding it. These bikes are pretty similar geometries. This one is made from aluminum though. This one's made from chromoly. This one also has a front basket in the front here. We don't have any weight in there or anything right now, but we could go shopping if we wanted to. And this removes easily, so if you don't want it there, you can take it off. Anyway, round 2.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, here we are continuing on with our ride. And yeah, I don't notice too many immediate differences like between the bikes when I switch on them right away. This one does feel just a tiny little bit more nimble, a little bit more responsive, but maybe that's because it doesn't have the front basket in the front. And also the grips are a little bit wider, a little bit nicer because it doesn't use the twist shift. This one uses a trigger shifter. But we got to be careful here. Lots of cars just coming out right now. That's why it's a little bit safer to be on the right side. Let's get back over here. Cycle lane. Oh, be careful. Bad girl. But yeah, the thing I'm most impressed and reassured about with these bikes is I was worried like folding bikes would be a lot slower than like a normal bike. And yeah, like obviously it's not the same as like a road bike. A road bike is going to be crazy fast. But for doing basic city touring, riding around the city, doing shopping, and doing some basic traveling like we want to do, this is plenty fast. Like we don't do much speed riding currently unless we're training for like races. This is plenty fast for the speed that we want to go. And these are really comfortable. Like having the kickstands, having the mounts to carry our luggage, and just the portability, being able to store these in a hotel, being able to bring these on a bus, and bring these on an airplane. So that's the next trick. We need to decide, are we gonna go with the 16-inch wheel bike? Are we gonna go with the 20-inch wheel bike? So the 16-inch is a lot smaller. It fits down into a suitcase or like your baggage more easily. But the 20-inch bike is a little bit bigger. I don't think it's gonna fit in a suitcase, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to get maybe a specialty box or figure out how to bring these. But if anyone has experience traveling by airplane with their folding bikes, let us know. We'd love to hear from your experience. Gotta do a reminder to myself never to come down here for weekend cycling again. It's just a little bit too dangerous. I really don't like, Japanese cars do that all the time. Like they start turning, you don't know if they're gonna turn, and technically you have the right of way, like it's a green pedestrian sign, and you're in the pedestrian lane, and they're the ones turning, so they should wait. But, so you don't know, are they gonna turn? Are they gonna stop? And so you both end up braking, and it ends up being like really inefficient. Here's the distribution company for Schwalbe here in Japan, by the way. We've also got them, they're lucky, they're right next to a double-decker McDonald's, and they've got the interesting McDonald's delivery bikes like that. Big Mac. Oh yeah, it's almost Tsukimi burger time. In September, McDonald's has a special seasonal burger. So just a few more days and we can eat that delicious burger. The other thing, maybe this is just in my mind, but I feel like cars are a lot more aggressive around road bike riders. So if you're on a road bike in a full cycling kit, I feel like cars will be a little bit more like not so polite around you and be more aggressive and make dangerous moves. But if you're on these kinds of folding bikes, it's more like a city kind of bike. So you're more like a pedestrian, or you're closer to a pedestrian, your speeds aren't as fast. And so I think they're gonna be like a lot safer when driving around you. So I don't know, maybe, is that just me? Or do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments. And the other thing is, I really prefer like flat style handlebars. It's just a lot more comfortable. Yeah, when I'm doing like my training, when I'm doing fitness, when I wanna go fast, I wanna be aerodynamic, I'll get the road bike, I'll get the drop bars. But yeah, just casual touring, exploring, going at a nice, slow, comfortable pace, I'll take the drop bars any day. So here we go. We got a climbing test of these bikes. Chunshan's a beast. So, polite thing to do when someone else is there, you gotta get off and walk. Technically, I think they want you doing that every time. So we got a nice little overpass of the highway right here. Nice safe way. I don't have to deal with all the intersections down below. But yeah, I mean, these bikes, they're able to handle This kind of uphill and downhill, no problem. Oh, there goes the guy on the road bike. So yeah, we're keeping the same pace as the guy on the road bike. Half of the reason for that though is because of all the lights. There's the subway going up there. So it's a subway until it gets over here to the east side of the city, and then it goes above ground. Oh man, Tune gets really competitive when someone will ride by really fast. So we've been just casually riding. Let's try and pick up the pace. Some kids like that go really fast. I guess they're like, I don't know, in between school, they're going to visit friends or something, or they have club activity. So here we go, we got the Tune Rocket Sprint. Oh, good timing. We're just gonna make the light. So yeah, even holding like decent speed on this bike, not a problem. I don't like to go too fast on these roads, mainly because there are lots of pedestrians, there are lots of bumps, and there's really no point. You can see he just got stopped at that light above there, so you're really all gonna end up at the same place. No point in wasting some effort. Good for interval training though, I guess. Oh man, we're stopped right by a pachinko right now, which is it's like the only kind of legal gambling here in Japan, or one of the few like legal style gambling. It's like a kind of like a slot machine, but it stinks really bad. That's where everyone goes to smoke. This is actually a bus stop for the highway bus, so there's a bus that will pick you up here, take you all the way to Tokyo. It's about like a seven hour bus ride. I haven't taken it in years. It's cheap though. I think it's only about like $30. But yeah, it's not fun being on a bus for like 7 hours. I think they stop like once along the way, maybe twice. Yeah, look at this tiny little road. So this is technically the cycling lane. Definitely not enough room for two-way traffic. And the funny thing is there isn't even a sidewalk on the other side of the road here. So that's all there is. All right, we're getting pretty close to being back home. I think we're gonna turn off here, find a nice place to finish the video, and get Chun-chan's comments on which bike she prefers, what she thinks about the two bikes. And yeah, I just love being able to switch between both of them. Like now, we don't have to worry about having like different size bikes, different components. Both of these use pretty much the same components or standard components, so most of the parts are interchangeable. The size, we don't have to worry. So if something happens, we always have like a backup bike to use. This is the subway line straight ahead, by the way. It's above ground going to our local. This is the last train on the east side of Fujigaoka for the subway line. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so let's ask Tun-chan, what does she think about this bike? Is anything different with this bike?
Yeah.
The shifter?
Yes.
Yeah.
いや、個人の考えが自分の手が汗が出るから。で、触る時がちょっと使いにくい。
そうだね、夏に。
汗が出るから。
Yeah, it's really hot right now, so that's another reason why the grip shifters are a little bit harder to use.
滑る。
It's the same thing in winter. If your hands are too cold or too hot, the trigger shifters are a little bit better.
これ押すだけ、これ押すだけだから。
You can just push these. Okay, so we like this shifter style better. Also, this one does have 7 gears, so it's got a little bit more of a gear range. This one only has 6. But you also have to keep in mind these bikes are a little different price point. I think the Boardwalk is a little bit more expensive and the HIT is a little bit cheaper. But there are some extra bonuses you get with the HIT as well. So in the Japanese version at least, you get the basket. So Tune put her helmet in there right now, but we can put our groceries in there. Both of these bikes are rack compatible. So we could put a rear rack on the back if we wanted to, and then we could use pannier bags. でも両方速いでしょ？
両方速い。軽い。
軽い。
気持ちいい。
気持ちいい。
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we're big fans of both bikes right now, but let us know which one you prefer. Which frame do you like more? Which color do you like more? Which style do you like more? We'd love to hear your comments, and if you have any suggestions on us for any upgrades, let us know. We'll keep it in mind. I think we're going to try and ride it on the stock version for as long as possible, just to get a good feel for everything and test the durability on everything. But so far, we're really impressed. Also, just again, for full disclosure, these bikes were sent over to us by Dahon for us to test out, but we are able to give our honest opinion. We wouldn't be saying the things we are saying right now if we didn't feel that way. And we're honestly really excited to test out these 20-inch folding bikes. We're really excited to use these possibly in the future as our main travel bikes moving forward, just because they are extremely portable, they are really lightweight, and they do a great job for the type of riding we think we're going to be doing in the future with traveling some different nearby countries. We did make a video recently talking about where we're planning to go next after we leave Japan. It still depends on the COVID situation, how everything's developing in those countries. So it may be Thailand, it may be Bali, it may be other parts of Indonesia, it may be Singapore, it may be Panama. But no matter where we go, these bikes, I think, will do a good job of handling like whatever we have planned for using them going forward. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thanks as always for watching, everyone. A special thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon who help support our channel and keep us going so we can make more videos like this. We really appreciate your support, and also a special thank you to Dahon for sending these bikes over for us to use. We'll leave some links down below so you can check out those bikes. That's it for today, guys. Thanks as always, and we'll see you next time here on Two Wheel Cruise.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.